Okay. Again, it's another day. It's getting closer to the end of the trial of the Zimmerman. It's a perfect world trial. You know what I'm saying? You had Travon's mother come on, his brother, uh, Zimmerman's mother, his uncle, the doctor, the dude that did the autopsy, you know what I'm saying? He came on. So the last day, you know what I mean, not the last day, but the day that the prosecution rested or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It was like, you know, it was a lot of information in that. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't resting my case just yet. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, this motherfucker should be you should be charged with first degree murder, man. You know what I'm saying? But I want to go through the witnesses. You know what I'm saying, on this little segment. You know what I'm saying? Next week I'm gonna give y'all the whole. You know what I'm saying? Break this shit down and close this shit out. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna just want to talk about the witnesses or whatnot, and then and another thing, I just want to say that you know, these fucking news reporters and shit like that, man. Them motherfuckers. What the fuck is wrong with them, man? You know what I'm saying? It's like, is they stupid, or you know, they don't have no common sense or some shit? I mean, what is it? You know what I'm saying? It's like, I know it makes good television, you know what I'm saying, but I have to think like, damn, do you guys really believe this shit, or is y'all like acting it out, or what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Because it's like they choose to ignore basic shit. It's like common sense shit, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like unbelievable that these educated, so-called educated people, you know what I'm saying, are so fucking stupid. You know what I'm saying? It's amazing to me. You know what I'm saying? You know, but you know, I guess you got them people. You got certain people that go to school and you know they learn about different shit, or they watch TV, they watch CSI, they watch the courtroom shit as it unfolds, or you know they in the courtrooms and shit. But then you got other people in the world that watch crime scenes, you know, actual crime scenes that they're commenting on and shit. Watch these crime scenes develop right before their fucking eyes all the damn time. Like, people see the crime scene happening. You know what I'm saying? See the premeditation of a crime scene happening. Then see it after it's happened, and see the person and see the movements of the person after they're taking their last breath or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And then they see the person who did it. You know what I'm saying? And then they have opportunities to talk to these people who did it later on. You know what I'm saying? And they're able to look at these people. You know what I'm saying? So you over the years, you basically have first-hand studies of murderers, basically, so to speak. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate, but shit, damn, that's just the way it is. Like if you was in the army, you know what I'm saying? You got a motherfucker, and you know, partners with somebody in the army, and they running around killing people for the whole duration of the war, and then you seeing how they're reacting to the first murder, to their last murder, and you know, you like, you know, he's okay, but you know he's affected in different ways, and then certain people act different ways. Certain people, you know, first time they kill somebody, you know, somebody might be, you know, happy. You know what I'm saying? Somebody may not show no emotion. Some people might be even more angrier. You know what I'm saying? Some people feel like their work ain't done. They still need to get some more people. You know what I mean? Depending on what motivated them to murder the person in the first place. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? You know, that's that. You know, beyond that, you know what I'm saying? Just, you know, dealing with people, you know, when you exchanging money with people all the time, people have a tendency to lie about things, and then you have to be able to look at people lying, you know, and you done heard every lie in the world, every emotion, you know, you see all these different, you know, and you have to sift through all this shit. So, you know, there are people that get an education other than the classroom. I mean, we all know that. So, you know, everybody ain't running around this motherfucker, you know, basically uneducated on situations that happen, you know, in the world. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, just because certain people may not use the language or the diction or whatever that everyone else is used, you know, some people may cuss too much, you know what I'm saying? Because that's just what they like to do, you know. So what? You know what I mean? They don't like to use the different words or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's just, that's just how it is. So anyway, you know what I'm saying? All I'm just trying to say is some people are qualified to comment on shit like this, basically. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, what I'm trying to do is talk about these here witnesses. Now, first of all, the 7-Eleven clerk. 7-Eleven clerk was cool, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, like he told you, it was nothing strange about Travon that night. You know what I'm saying? And what caught my attention with that situation, Travon going up into the 7-Eleven, is he went to go buy what he went to go buy. And these people always try to talk about how he smoked weed or whatever, but he didn't buy no blunt. You know what I'm saying? He was in the store talking on the phone. You know, you could see that when he was coming up to the counter, he told her, hold on, I'm about to buy my stuff, or let me call you right back. Whatever he told her when he reached up, and you could see the earpiece on his drawstring. He told her, I'm going to hit you, you know, hold on for a second, whatever he said. And the clerk had his back turned to him the whole time, because obviously the clerk could hear him talking to someone. He recognized he was talking on the phone, so he's walking around. So he's really not tripping off of Travon like he's some type of threat. You know what I mean? So, boom, he comes in the store and he leaves out the store. No big deal. Then you got the operator that he was on the phone with, Zimmerman was on the phone with when you called in, you know what I'm saying, when, you know, you called to the operator 911 and you start telling your little story. You start putting your little story down. You know what I'm saying? But I get more into that a little later on. You know what I'm saying? So, but that, the operator was important to me because, you know, the call, naturally, you could hear him talking, you know, you could hear George Zimmerman telling his little story or whatnot. And the important part of that, to me, was when he got out of the car and he said, you know, he was started following him, and then the operator was like, you following him? And the reason why he knew was because he heard the wind in the phone. And what happened was George Zimmerman took off running too. That's what he's not telling nobody, because he's running for a second and you can hear the wind, woo, woo, and then he's like, he's jogging or light running or whatever. He wasn't just walking, but he had took off running. Another important part of that conversation, he says he's headed towards the south entrance, right? He didn't say he's going through that T. He said he's going to the south entrance. He's running that way because there's that street, that curved street where he parked at or whatever, and it goes down. And then about 2, 4, 6 houses down, there's another little cut through right there. And what I believe, Travon ran down that street. George Zimmerman chased him. Travon cut through that, went across that little sidewalk thing, went to the other street. George Zimmerman came from behind, and versus taking that other right or taking that right down that first little path he could have kept going down that path, he went back up in an attempt to try to shake Zimmerman. So he goes back up, Zimmerman comes around, he comes all the way up to the top, then he comes to that T part where he says he was at, the George Zimmerman said he was at. Then he starts to come back down that thing. By this time, George Zimmerman gets over there, and then he comes up, and then he comes around, and finally there's a confrontation. And if you go out there and you walk that scene and you do that call for that 2-minute call from him being outside till he hung up, I bet you it'll take you about 2 minutes to run down that little part where he was talking until he stopped running and then walked around and then come around all the way to the top. And I bet you it'll be the perfect amount of time that it took him to do that. But, you know what I'm saying, I can't do that shit because I ain't in no motherfucking Florida, you know what I'm saying. But just common sense tells me that that's what happened. But anyway, the neighborhood watch lady, you know what I'm saying? She comes on, you know, she tells the people, hey, you know what I mean, you know, we want him to be this or that. I think he refused her or some shit because he had his own idea about what he wanted to do as far as being the police around the neighborhood, whatever. So, you know what I'm saying, you know, she told him the rules, like, you know, just call, observe, this is what the officers told us, boo, boo, you know, the basic shit, you know what I'm saying. But he's a rogue cop, basically. So he was like, well, I'll do all my business alone, you know what I'm saying, because he has it in his mind about what he's going to do one day when he catch one of these punks. That shit is bothering him that these people is breaking the house. That shit bothers everybody. It's like the ultimate violation when somebody come in your house and steal some shit out your house. You're very upset. Everyone is very upset about that shit, especially when people take some personal shit of yours, you know what I'm saying? Shit that can't be replaced, you know what I mean? And so, like some jewelry that your auntie gave you, your grandmama gave you, they done took some shit that's been in the family for some years. That shit is fucked up. That shit hurts, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I understand that's an anger that people will have, you know what I'm saying, if that's been a happening in the neighborhood, which is understandable, you know what I'm saying? We all understand that shit, you know what I'm saying? But the problem is, like I keep saying, the problem is Travon was the wrong dude. That's the problem, you know what I'm saying? So now you get to, you know what I'm saying, the older blonde lady. You know, I got my notes and shit too, you know what I'm saying? I'm cheating on my test like the doctor did, you know, the other day. I'm cheating, you know. But anyway, so the older blonde lady, you know what I'm saying? She, I don't know her name, whatever, but she called in. She was the one that was crying and all this here shit, you know what I'm saying? And the people, you know, was outside. And then, you know, you had the dark haired the dark haired lady. She called in, whatever. And then you had the white dude, the Mexican lady called in. Now I skipped one. I was Gentile. I'm gonna get right back to her. But all of them witnesses, and then the Filipino dude that came outside and all that shit, all of them witnesses said to me one thing. All that shit was not necessarily important. The phone calls was cool because it expressed the person yelling and screaming or whatever. But what was important to me, to all of those witnesses, was the fact that they all started off like, hey, you know, somebody back here, they're doing this and doing that. And then once the gunshot and once they realized somebody was dead, it was like, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? Somebody's outside dead. The one lady, she crying and shit. The one dude, he, oh shit, damn, it's, you know. And then the one broad, the dark hair broad, at first, you know, she like, these motherfuckers outside in the backyard, would you hurry up and come get them? You know, somebody hurry up and do something, you know, hey, you know, they're back there. I don't know what's going on. I don't want to look out there. And then pow, you know, it's like, oh shit, get upstairs, get away from the window, they out there shooting. You know, she get to panicking and shit. Then, you know what I mean, now it's serious, you know what I'm saying, because she know something done happened, and then she realized somebody's out there dead, and they're kind of remorseful, and they're kind of like, man, damn, I should have went out there and helped. And, you know, everybody's kind of like tripping and shit. But at first it wasn't that bad. But then now they really kind of like tripping to know that somebody out there dead. And what that was telling me was that everybody, you know what I'm saying, was a little bit remorseful except for George Zimmerman. You know what I'm saying? Which he wasn't remorseful. And one thing that a person know, it doesn't matter. It takes a certain heart to pull that trigger. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck if you face with imminent danger. You know what I'm saying? It's either going to be a reflex or it's going to take a certain heart. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're in a situation and somebody's about to shoot at you and you may have a gun on you, you know what I'm saying? Your instincts and reflexes may take over and boom, you shoot. Then some people get frozen stiff. You know what I'm saying? And they die with their guns on them. You know what I'm saying? George Zimmerman, on the other hand, says he realized that this is going on, because he's thinking that, what I'm saying, the self-defense thing is, is this whatever he thinks it is, what I'm saying, that he knows it to be. But one thing about it is, he's never actually been in a courtroom, so to speak, with someone doing some self-defense shit and actually won. I don't believe, although his whole family is involved with law enforcement and shit, and he's probably heard countless amounts of information on different shit, what I'm saying, that pick people's brains or whatever. But I don't think he's actually seen a self-defense case actually play out right before his eyes. You know what I'm saying? And, in theory, I guess, if you believe that your life is about to be taken, you have the right to defend yourself or this and that. But, from my experience, seeing things, actually live happening, it's like a reflex. Somebody's just a reflex, because it's like you're not thinking about it. It's like, boom, that shit is happening, and you have to do what you have to do. And then after you do it, you're like, oh shit, I did that. You know what I'm saying? It's like you was on autopilot or something. But some people could think it through. I'm not, disputing that or nothing. But for the average person with probably no malice in their heart, it probably would work the other way. You know what I'm saying? And it's fight or flight, whatever they call that shit. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, you know what I'm saying? So, he the only one that didn't show no more remorse. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to get back to that too. You know what I'm saying? Because he's a fucking witness. You know what I'm saying? Although he might not take the stand, because we know he ain't going to take the motherfucking stand. But all them interviews and all that shit, they should put all that shit together and make it be like one collage of that shit. And you're going to see the discrepancies in his whole shit. And that's actually him taking the stand. But anyway, let's go back to the witnesses or whatever. Then you got the detective, right? Okay, the detective, he's a slick type of dude. Seem like he pretty slick. And he know that George was exaggerating this shit and saying different shit, that may not, because every good lie has truth in it. You know what I'm saying? So he knows that he's sitting there putting a little bit too much on it. Basically, that's what he's doing. He trying to make sure that he don't go to jail for this shit. So he gonna, that's where the perfect world thing comes in. It's a perfect world. Everything what he's saying is perfect. It has to be perfect in his mind. You know what I'm saying? Because he's, just, it has to be perfect. You know what I'm saying? And just me dealing with a bunch of my Mexican partners and Latino partners, whatever, you know what I'm saying, that machismo in him or whatever, he just not realizing, that it ain't gotta be perfect. He's trying to make it be this perfect shit, you know what I'm saying? But it ain't gotta be all perfect, man. You know what I'm saying? Why is you over-exaggerating shit? You know what I'm saying? But he's thinking that this is what the people want to hear. He's thinking he's smarter than everybody else and shit. And he wants to just, put so much on it to whereas, he, it's like without a doubt, you know what I'm saying, he had to do everything he had to do the right way. He even goes to the fact of being on fucking TV. He got the fucking nerve to say he wouldn't change shit. That nigga said he wouldn't change shit, man. You know what I mean? You just killed somebody that that wasn't the person, man. You got out the car and followed that person, man. You know what I'm saying? And you tell me that if you had something to do different, you would have just sat in your car and just let the police handle that shit and tried to observe. Man, come on, man. You killed the wrong dude, man. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? You wouldn't even want to change that because you think that if you said I would have stayed in my car, that's gonna convict you. I mean, you gotta play the situation out all the way, man. You know what I'm saying? I understand all that. You gotta go all the way through everything in order to feel as though you gotta beat your case, but you ain't gotta do that shit, man. You ain't gotta say it was God's plan and all that shit, man. You ain't gotta say that shit. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? That's kind of fucked up. You know what I mean? So anyway, back to the detective dude, man. So this dude, sit there and says, you know, y'all need to charge him, man, with something. You know, something you need to charge him with. And then they like, nah, we can't charge him this and that. And then however the shit happened, whatever, you know, they done booted him off the case or took over his case or did something. And they showed him that, man, this is some serious shit. The people inside his thing, inside the police department, whatever, they let him know that, man, look, man, if you fuck around and say the wrong shit, your livelihood is at stake, man. And you could tell that he was like on the stand, like, you know, he answered the questions and all that shit, but he basically was like, in his heart, feeling like he ain't saying what he should be saying in his heart. You know, and it's a fucked up position to be in, but you know what I'm saying, he should be looking for a career somewhere else, I guess, you know what I'm saying? But obviously, you know, he didn't feel like doing that or whatever. He wants his job, his career where he's at. He's cool where he's at, and he don't want to go against the grain because obviously Zimmerman name has some type of weight down there somewhere, up in there somewhere. I don't know. You know, I don't know the full extent of their support system. You know what I'm saying? But Zimmerman has a support system, and they have some powerful friends, obviously. With the father being a judge, the uncle being a police, the best friend being a police. I mean, damn, you know what I'm saying? He got friends in law enforcement, family in law. You know what I'm saying? So obviously he has some powerful people in his support system, basically. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, you know what I mean? The detective shit is what it is, man. But I'm glad that he walked him out there and did that walkthrough because, boom, that's part of George Zimmerman's testimony. Now, the teacher let you know what I'm saying? The man came to class, got an A in my class. I covered this, I covered that. The man was knowledgeable of the law, man. You know what I'm saying? I took criminal justice class, you know what I'm saying, back in the days, and it was like I could relate to every fucking thing they were saying in the class, and I was like, you know, saying it in the way that it was on the street, like how I saw it on the street. Now I'm learning it in the words, basically. You know what I'm saying? So I know how helpful a criminal justice class can be. You know what I'm saying? And he went through the whole thing and graduated. You know what I mean? I think I took one semester of the shit. You know what I'm saying? I didn't continue on with it or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? The girl that came and testified about the gunshot and how close the proximity it was to the clothing, that was cool because it let you know that it was a close almost contact, close. You know what I'm saying? He was right there up on him. So we know that they was within arm's distance of each other this whole time. Which we already pretty much know because everybody is testifying that they was on the ground wrestling and this and that, blah, blah, blah. The DNA guy. DNA testify. There's no DNA on the gun. Okay, we already know that. But what's more important to me is there was no DNA on Travon's hands. You know what I'm saying? There's no DNA on Travon's hands. I'm going to get back to that a little later on too. You know what I'm saying? There's no DNA on his hands, no DNA on his sleeves. You know what I'm saying? George Zimmerman, you know what I mean? With all this, what George Zimmerman was saying that he was doing. That was important to me. You know what I'm saying? Might be a couple other witnesses, but then the mother, she come on, she testified that it's her son. The other mother come on, testified that it's it's her son. You know, the brother like say that it's his brother and this and that. You know what I'm saying? And then the uncle comes, and then his story. I mean, look at his story. I mean, the uncle was a beauty, wasn't he? You know what I'm saying? He comes in talking about he don't want no parts of the case. He knows his nephew done got caught up in some shit, and now he don't want no parts of this here shit. He don't want to know nothing. He ain't gonna watch the TV. So one day he over on the computer where there's a bunch of information on the computer and shit. You on the computer, but you avoiding all the information on the case, and then all of a sudden you hear your nephew's voice in the background, yelling and shit, screaming on the TV. And you're like, oh, that's Georgie, and now you want to come watch the TV because now you all of a sudden you involved in the motherfucking case now. now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like as soon as you heard him screaming, now you're involved in the case. But before you didn't want to be involved in the case. You knew he killed somebody, and then you knew he killed somebody, and you was trying to seclude yourself from all the information on the internet, all the information on the news. But then you overhear the screaming. You know what I'm saying? But you ain't paying attention to none of the talking and shit, but you overhearing the screaming. And so then you jump up and you go in there and you say, oh shit, that's Georgie. He's screaming. And then now all of a sudden you take an interest in the case. You know, now you watch it. Fuck what the rules was that you wasn't trying to trip off the case. Now that you heard the screaming, you are in the case now. And now you're paying attention because you've heard your nephew. I mean, you know, come on, man. Anybody is going to try to help their family member if they have an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? And this motherfucker, so what, you a police? So what, you been in the army and all this here shit? The fuck does that mean? That's your nephew, and you gonna try to help him. You gonna try to use all your power and influence. You ain't gonna try to send his ass to jail. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna do no shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So you gonna be like, that couldn't be him. You know what I mean? That has to be him screaming. I mean, he couldn't have done no shit like that, because it's like, you know why he was out there. You know why he was doing the shit that he was doing, because there was some people breaking in some houses, and you don't agree with that shit neither. So he took one for the fucking team, but you know what I'm saying? You trying to help him get off. But the thing about it is, he shot the wrong person, man. You know what I'm saying? It just happens like that. He shot the wrong person. This is a classic. This is how I go. It's just like, you know, if a police gets killed, you know, and somebody kills a police, but they shoot the innocent police. They don't shoot the dirty police. They shoot the innocent police. And it's like, how could they? Why did he get killed of all people? He was the innocent guy, not the one that's beating up people, has a record for you know, police brutality and all this here shit. You know what I'm saying? It was the good one, the one that helps the community. He's the one got killed. I mean, it's just like that, man. The devil is sick, man. You know what I mean? The situations, the scenarios that he puts people in, I mean, it's some shit. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, what I'm saying is this. You know, the uncle, you know, his story, you know, is just an uncle trying to protect his nephew, whatever. You know what I mean? Because if you look at it, you know, you got people that, you got mothers, right, that hear their daughters or their sons sing for the first time. You know, the daughter or the son come out if they're like 12, 13, 14 years old, and then they start singing, and the mother like, whoa, I never knew you could sing like that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like the first time they've ever heard their child sing in the way they do. You know, it's like amazing to them that they have this type of voice. So a person screaming for their lives, all four of these people, you know, probably never heard their son or brother, you know what I mean, scream like that ever in life. And there's no way for them to could tell, you know, who it is. You know what I'm saying? There's no way for no one pretty much to be able to tell. You know what I'm saying? Because they've never heard it before. But me personally, listening to those tapes, I could have swore I heard two different voices, two sets of voices. I heard screams and I heard help. You know what I'm saying? Naturally, George Zimmerman said help, but he didn't say help in a panicked way. It was like, help, help. You know what I'm saying? Like, help me hold this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Help me grab this motherfucker. Help me keep this motherfucker here until the police come. Or help me do something to this person. You know what I'm saying? It was like more like a help like that. I heard it like once or twice or something like that. But the screamings, 9 times out of 10, definitely was Travon. You know what I'm saying? For what reasons I think that is, and it's because, you know, he was, you know, being put in a little submission holes down there. You know what I'm saying? You know, Zimmerman knew the MMA shit. You know what I'm saying? He was doing little shit to him, if he was grabbing his nuts, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? He was, you know, he didn't want Travon to get up and leave, basically. You know what I'm saying? But I'll get into that. One more witness, Gentile. Okay, back to her. Now, we all know that she's not, you know, some world interested person. You know, she's interested in all the shit that's going on in the world, watching CNN all the damn time, you know, all about the world news, and, you know, word about Benghazi, and, you know, she's not tripping off of shit like that. You know what I'm saying? You know, she's like, Bin Laden, who the hell is Bin Laden? You know what I mean? Damn near, you feel me? You know, so it's like, she, you know, she tripping off of BET, the Bad Girls Club, First 48 Hours. You know, they kids. That's what the type of shit, you know, they game ain't even developed the right way yet. You know what I'm saying? They on some other little shit that, you know, what boy doing this and what boy doing that and what girls is doing. You know, they on some kid shit. You know what I'm saying? Her and Travon. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, they ain't even really tripping. You know what I'm saying? And I guarantee you that Travon ain't never been faced with no situation like that. A lot of people in this world ain't never been faced with no situation like that. 9 times, like she was trying to say, he didn't even know him. You know what I'm saying? Because every single confrontation probably that Travon had in his short little 17 years, if he done had a fight or if he done had a discrepancy with somebody, it was with another black male that his age that he knew, and it was some old confrontation that they had at school or some bullshit like that. You know what I'm saying? There never was no grown-ass person following him around and stalking him. You know what I mean? It wasn't, he ain't never went through no shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Never. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people live their whole life and ain't never had no shit like that happen to them. This was some bullshit from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, you know what I mean? She sit there and she lied to the mama about not coming to the funeral or the wake or whatever. And I look back at my partner's grandmama when she died, you know what I'm saying? And this lady, she helped raise us all. We was all kids. I've been knowing her since I was a child, you know what I'm saying? Her and my auntie, my great auntie, they was friends, you know what I'm saying? We all lived in the same neighborhood. They lived out there forever, you know what I'm saying? And she, you know, as I grew up older, she did stuff for us or whatever, and she was my partner grandmama. But she was the toughest lady I knew, one of the toughest ladies I knew. She raised like 9 kids, half of them was on drugs, you know what I'm saying? And the rest was selling drugs or whatever it may be, you know, not like that. A couple of them was good, you know what I'm saying? She raised some good ones in there too, you know, one becomes a mayor, you know what I'm saying, of a city, you know what I mean? And when I had moved, I let her, not let her, but she let me keep my dog at her house, and the dog would bark all the time, get off the chain, leave, all kind of different shit, you know what I'm saying? But she still let me keep the dog there, whatnot, you know what I'm saying, until I finally moved the dog, you know, and I always had somewhere to go. I always had a meal and all that shit. And when she finally got sick, you know, and I asked her one time, I was like, how you feel? And when she was, you know, she was in a bed in the room, you know what I'm saying, when she never was like that, and she was in this bed in the room, and I asked her how she was, and she told me not good. You know, that was the first time I ever saw weakness in her. That, you know, she cussing people out all the time and shit like that, but, you know, for her to say not good, it was like, damn, I knew something was wrong. And a week later she died. I didn't go to the funeral, you know what I'm saying? You know, and I felt bad, but at the same time, I didn't want to see her like that. I wanted to remember her how she was, but at the same time, my partner's mother and them, you know, and him and the aunties and them, I still had to face them because I still kept coming to that house, you know what I'm saying? So I had to cap to them like, oh man, I didn't have no ride, and, you know, or whatever I said, you know what I'm saying? But it was a cap, you know what I'm saying? And I had to stick with that because I felt bad to, you know, with them, you know what I'm saying, that I didn't come, you know, but it wasn't about them, but it should have been about them because I should have supported them, you know what I'm saying? But for my own selfish reasons, I didn't want to see her like that, so I didn't go, you know what I mean? But I lied to them, you know what I'm saying? So I understand where she coming from. And by her lying to the mama, you know, the first time telling her why she didn't go, she made up a excuse that she felt like, you know, the mama would believe, you know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, she has to come back and do another meeting with the mama and whoever else. So the mama's sitting right there, so she can't, she got to keep the lie up. She don't care about the oath part. You know what I mean? That shit don't really mean nothing to her. She don't know. You know what I mean? So she keep the lie up, you know what I'm saying? And that's why it was like 2 lies and this and that. You know what I'm saying? But that had nothing to do with what was going on. But what was important to her is when she was saying that she heard the bump. You know what I'm saying? Because we all saw the string with his thing on the outside of that on the string, his earpiece on that, and then she he said something to Zimmerman, and Zimmerman said something back, whatever it was. You know what I'm saying? Zimmerman had an opportunity to lead that situation also, just as well as Travon. So Zimmerman, being an adult, being a smarter one, he could have avoided that confrontation and kept on going. You know what I'm saying? Like he said, he was walking to, why didn't he run? You know what I'm saying? If Travon was walking towards him, you know what I'm saying? He was over there when he looked back and he's seeing him as he walking. How come he didn't continue to keep on walking? Why did he stop? You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? At that particular time. So, his shit is bullshit. Anyway. You know what I'm saying? That little squeaky sound that she heard, that she talking about, it was a grass sound. It was basically that slide noise. You hear that slide, that slide noise where, they on the ground, or it's a body on a body and it's sliding, or he's in the grass and it's sliding and the phone cut off. You know what I'm saying? But what's important is the time that call was happening, because it shows when the time that George Zimmerman hung up, and it shows where he's still on the phone. Travon is on the phone with her, and then it shows the first time when people start calling the 911 about the incident, and it shows that timeline and relevance. All that shit is important. So that's what was the good thing about Chantel, not all this shit that the defense is trying to put up. And these I mean, that's their job, that's what they do. You know what I'm saying? They try to do that, but damn, you know what I'm saying? It's like, the people is like, but I would expect that the fucking news people would have more fucking common sense than they do. Damn motherfuckers, man, them motherfuckers are stupid. You know what I'm saying? I feel like fucking Hannibal Lecter and shit. You know what I'm saying? Talking to Clarice. Well, it's all in the case files. Haven't you read it? You know what I'm saying? Damn. I mean, you motherfuckers, don't realize what the hell happened. You know what I'm saying? And y'all sitting there, they either prejudiced, they either fucking stupid, or they just, just acting along with this shit. You know what I'm saying? Or I don't know what the hell their problem is. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, this shit make good TV. You know what I mean? So, it is what it is. But anyway, because you got the one side of the country talking about the other side of the country, talking about these people in the country, talking about these people in the country. It's just a bunch of bullshit going on behind this case, man. You know what I'm saying? But then, okay, now you get to fucking George Zimmerman. You get to your ass, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? You being on the stand, basically. You know what I'm saying? We know you ain't getting on the stand, but you gave up enough information. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean, to satisfied being on the stand and shit. You know what I'm saying? Because you did a lot. You know what I'm saying? You interviewed with the one police lady, then you interviewed with the other detective, then you did that walkthrough shit, then you did that television. You've been on the stand 5 times, man. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers just ain't even question you, but they ain't even have to question you. You know what I'm saying? You probably been on there more than that, because then you told your best friend his shit. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I forgot about him. He's a fucking cat and a half. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he hurt you more than anything. It's irony in this case. Like, it seems like all the defense witnesses, you know what I'm saying? I mean, the prosecution witnesses hurt the prosecution supposedly, you know what I mean, by their own folly, you know what I'm saying, and you know the defense. Well, he was a prosecution witness, George Zimmerman's friend, but he was helping the defense or whatnot, you know what I mean. But he really kind of hurt your ass because you could just tell his fucking story is just made up, like, you know, he just all the way straight through perfect story, just, you know, this perfect story, you know what I mean. Bullshit, you know what I mean? And then the book and all that shit is all bullshit. Anyway, back to you. You know what I'm saying? And the first thing, you know, what I find out, what I figure is really fucked up about you. This is one thing that's fucked up about you, man. You know what I'm saying? How you can sit there after this shit is over with, and then you, whatever, I don't know what that was, when you went on the stand or you was doing something and you told that man's father or mother or whoever it was, and you told him you were sorry for their loss, right? You were sorry for their loss, and you thought that he was a couple years younger than you. That was a fucking lie, man. That was bullshit. You could have saved that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? That was some bullshit. You know what I mean? I don't know why you would sit there and lie to them people like that, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they love their child. You know what I mean? And you gonna sit there in their face after you done killed him and then lie and say you were sorry about it? But then you gonna tell the dude that you have no fucking reason to change that shit. It was God's plan and all this other shit. Then on top of that, you told the motherfuckers that you was that he was a couple years younger than you. But then in the phone interview when you was talking to the operator, he asked you how old is he, and he was like, you was like late teens. Okay, late teens. You didn't say 19, 20. You said late teens, like you knew he was a teenager because you looked him right in his face. Then, you know what I'm saying, as you on the phone with the motherfucking operator and you sitting there talking about you following him and this shit like this, you know what I'm saying, you told the motherfucker, I don't want to give you my address because I don't know where this kid is at. You know what I'm saying? You ain't from New York. You don't call motherfuckers kid. Hey, kid, what's up, money? What's up, son? You know what I mean? What's up, done? What's up, kid? You don't talk like that. You told the motherfucker, I don't know where this kid is at. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, what the hell are you talking about? You just told, you apologizing to these people, telling them that you thought that he was a few years younger than you, 24, 23, 22. What is you trying to say? That was a bold-faced motherfucking lie. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you even do some shit like that? But anyway, you lied about not knowing about the fucking stand your ground law. You lied about that shit. You know what I'm saying? Then you sit there and, like I said before, when you on the phone with this dude, you get out of the car, you see him coming, because you pull down the street, he's coming, you watching him, whether you watching him out your back window, looking, or however you were parked, you positioned your car, whatever. Travon had to come that way, you know what I'm saying, because you went around and you may have stopped and he came by you, and then, you know, he had to keep walking down that street because that's which way he lives. But when he got to there, something in you, seeing you, made him run. You testified. I mean, he said that on the recording. Then in that other interview, you said he didn't run. He skipped away. That was a fucking lie. You know what I'm saying? You had to change it up. You had a flashlight. You had two flashlights. So you didn't have them on? You know, you just running around with flashlights and they're not on and it's dark out there. So you took off. When Travon took off running, you was like, he's running. Boom, you immediately out the car and you're running. You can hear the wind. You know what I'm saying? Because you're running towards the wind. And then you told him he's going to the south entrance. So he was running down the street. So as he's running down the street, you chasing him. You know what I'm saying? He cuts through that other little part. You come down. You follow him around there. For whatever reason, he cuts back. He's trying to shake you. You know what I'm saying? Because he told her, I think I lost him. You know what I'm saying? Before he headed back to his daddy house. He didn't want to take you there. You know what I'm saying? So he coming around just like you didn't want to tell the people where you lived at. You know what I'm saying? So he comes around and you come around and you looking for him and shit. You know what I'm saying? He comes around and then y'all meet up. You know what I'm saying? So then now, okay. So in your walkthrough interview, you told the people all this shit. You didn't mention in your walkthrough. You didn't mention. You just say, well, just have them call me. You told them. You left it at, well, I told them to meet me back at my truck, right? So you didn't tell them that. That you wanted them to call you. You didn't say that to the walkthrough when you was talking to the detectives on the walkthrough. You was like, I started to walk back towards my truck, and then here's where the encounter was. You never said shit about, I told them to meet me at the truck, then I told them, never mind, meet me at the thing, or better yet, just have them call me. You didn't say that. Then, you know what I'm saying, you talking about you went across the thing to go get a address. Did you ever get that address? If you walked out of your truck for 2 minutes, it didn't take you 2 minutes to walk fast down that one little path to the other side. When you got down to the other side, you was going to get this address. You didn't see the address. You didn't know the street. You didn't know it was Lakeview, whatever, that everybody else knows, the main street, the one that you probably live on. You didn't know that it was your street that circled around. You know what I mean? When you got down there, you didn't say shit about that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? That was bullshit. So then you sit there and you talk about, you walk back and then all of a sudden he appeared and shit. You know what I mean? And then boom, he punched you and broke your nose, right? That was bullshit. Okay? Now, let's say he punched you, which I don't think he did off top. I think he hit you while you was on the ground. I think you grabbed him, y'all was arguing. That's what made the white dude look out, because y'all was arguing. Then y'all start wrestling and then you took him down. Because that MMA shit that you know, I believe that you study some jujitsu shit, man. You know what I'm saying? And you know what that shit is, man. You didn't do no punching shit. You study some jujitsu shit. And I bet you if they look into your background, they'll find out that you was into that shit, grappling and all that old type of shit, man. You know what I'm saying? So I believe when y'all hit the ground, your head hit the ground for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? Now, Travon had your hand, you know what I'm saying, did something with your head to try to he's trying to get up this whole time. Who wants to be on the ground fighting? You know what I'm saying? He's trying to get up. He's trying to get away from your ass. You done hit your head some type of way. He done probably hit you in the nose to make you let go. You know what I'm saying? But definitely, he ain't hit you 12 times in the same spot. How come your lip wasn't busted? How come your eyes wasn't swollen? How come you didn't have no bruises nowhere on you? You know what I'm saying? You had little rubs on your head or something where somebody was trying to get away from you. How come he didn't have no bruises on his knuckles and shit? You got a hard ass head, look like. You know what I'm saying? Why didn't none of this shit occur? You know what I'm saying? So then he's on you with his knees on the ground and he got you. You know what I'm saying? And then you say he puts his hand over your mouth. How does he put your hand over your mouth and over your nose when the screaming is continuous? You know what I'm saying? In the tapes, the screaming is continuous. You didn't hear anybody going, ooh, ooh, ooh. You didn't hear none of that. You didn't hear no, ooh, ooh. You didn't hear none of that. You heard, cap. You know what I'm saying? The whole time. Nobody was saying nothing. We heard you clearly. Someone clearly say, help. Help. That. You know what I'm saying? But the other person is screaming, because something had them. You know, when you scream like that, somebody is, you applying pressure to a bone. Maybe you had him in a leg lock or something. You had him in some type of a move where he felt like something was going to snap. He was trying to get away. His only moves was to try to get up and get off you. You know what I'm saying? So the swimming moves or the trying to get up and you wasn't allowing him to. You know what I'm saying? It was something going on to that effect. And whatever it was, his legs was not on the side of you because you wouldn't have had that much easy access to your pistol. You know what I'm saying? So when you grabbing your pistol, obviously he was between your legs. You was holding him down some type of way. You was able to get to your pistol, come up with the motherfucker, and shoot him in the heart. You had a clear shot at the heart. I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? You tried to make it exaggerate the shit. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you, because the reason why you was trying to exaggerate the shit is because you feel like you was wrong. I mean, you needed to exaggerate the shit because you knew that you murdered him. You know what I'm saying? And all it was a plan coming together, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why I feel as though you need to be charged with first degree murder. Because a plan came together. Straight up. You know what I'm saying? The opportunity presented itself. You had the blueprint of it. Any criminal person know, you know what I mean, they're going to go at some shit with a plan. You know what I'm saying? They're going to have a plan. And you had a plan. You been had a plan. You know what I'm saying? And it came to fruition. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. You know what I'm saying? And, you did that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing else that can be said about it. You did that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? But, if it was up to me, you wouldn't get away with this shit. You'd be charged with motherfucking first degree murder. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I say, we know what you did. So shit, man. I've been talking for a hell of a long damn time. I know people ain't even gonna really watch this shit. You know what I'm saying? Especially this fucking long. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I just had to get that shit off my chest because that shit wrong. I might do the closing argument shit one time, for y'all or whatever. But I got some other shit, you know what I'm saying? Because, these people is crazy. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to do it, whatever. But, this shit is sick, man. So, anyway, till the next time, man, use your common sense. All right.